Dashing through these hoes in a one horse open sleigh, blowing nothing but dro, blazing all the way. About to get some shrooms, about to trip balls all night. What fun it is to get fucked up during a holiday season tonight. Oh, smoking trees, smoking trees. Welcome. Happy holidays. Knock, 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 knock. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. It is the Tuesday edition. I'm so very happy that you all, I don't even know how many's in here. Don't even matter. It's me and Will. I'm glad me and Will showed up. Psych. Shout out to everyone that is in the jam. Come on through. We got plenty of space, plenty of seats. We got some seats in the back. Be sure to speak. Say what's up. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy hold the heat, but real niggas gonna speak. Come on in here. Hope everybody's having a good time. Hope you had a good weekend. Hopefully, the stress of the holidays not getting to you too much. But let's see if we can remedy a little bit of that. Maybe even on tonight. Even on tonight. Got a good show, I hope, for y'all tonight. Gonna hit a couple of things. One story I'm gonna hit. Has to do with how America is actually the real shithole country. A recurring theme here on the Burn It Down with Kim Brown platform. This is a story I wanted to bring to you guys last week, but I didn't for reasons. Here in the DC area, the Washington Metro, the WMATA, I don't even know what WMATA stands for beyond. Washington Metro, in the Transportation Authority. I don't even know what the first A stands for. It don't matter. Metro around here is facing a $750 million budget shortfall in the nation's capital. And as a result, is making some very serious proposals to their service offerings that will absolutely have a majorly disruptive impact on the way public transportation moves and thrives around here. And this announcement came on the heels of Joe Biden via executive authority sending $100 billion worth of military munitions to Israel so they can continue to genocide Palestinians. And I wanted to talk about that contrast, everybody, because the shithole country here is America. As America falls down, it's doing a very good job of helping itself to fall down. As other empires before it. So I want to get to that story. But the other story I wanted to get to is going to be my lead jaunt. I got to talk about Jonathan Majors. Guys, you know that we, as a platform, as a record label, as a movement here on Burn It Down with Kim Brown, we talk about issues of domestic violence. And this one is a high profile one. And the reason we are going to talk about it is because it is a high profile one. And it is laden with for myself personally, conflicts, paradoxes, contradictions. Like I'm all kind of betwixt and between about this. So I'd be curious to get y'all's take on the Jonathan Majors verdict coming up here in just a moment. But first, let me say what's up to my good folks. What's up, Corey? Thank you so much for coming in here. Good to see you. Who was that? 40J Blaze, peace. Thank you so much for coming through. Fernie Francais, Anna Hart. Anna Hart. Fret not. I am on it, Anna. If you were banned or blocked, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. I actually meant to ask Will or Molly if they could over the weekend, if y'all could peruse the block/ban list for Anna. Anna, I have no idea how that happened. I can't even say there ain't no why. The why is a error, right? So it was no specific nothing. It was a mistake. Okay, Anna. So fret not. I'm gonna get you back in here, Anna. But whoo, things take time over here, girl. the things that should not take time, in disability years, sometimes take some time. So fret not, Anna. I'm on it. Shout out to Stoner Loner. Thank you so much for being in here. Damien, peace to my niece Alicia. Thank you so much for being in here. Who else did I see up in the I don't know my people. Shout out to the good mods, PCB. Who did I see? Oh, Eric. Shout out to Eric. Eric B for president in the building. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Sugar Shan, thank you, baby. Appreciate it. Thank y'all. Good to Jasmine. Thank you, Jasmine. Northern Witch DD is in the building. I love to see it. Holly, Wendy. Yeah. Okay, all my all-stars are here. Afra in here. All the all-stars checking in. Okay, I'm very encouraged. Now we can commence. Who is that? Oh, that's Mama Lorraine. Hey, Mama Lorraine. Yes, please. Yes, let Anna know. It's no, it's I have no idea. It is my answer for most things that happen in my life. How'd that happen? I have no idea. I don't know. I don't be knowing. Some people do be knowing. I do not be knowing. But anyway, you guys come on in here. Give the video a like, a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, share, do all the algorithmic things. Appreciate you guys supporting Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Become a member, become a patron, patreon.com/BIDWKB. Pop up the article for me, Will. So let me get into this because the trial for domestic violence, in effect, for Jonathan Majors wrapped up. And Jonathan Majors was found guilty by a jury in a New York courtroom of 2 out of the 4 charges that he was hit with. One of the charges he was found guilty on includes assault in the 3rd degree with recklessness, with injury, because during the dispute between he and former girlfriend Grace Jabrali, Jonathan Majors apparently injured Miss Jabrali's finger to the extent that it was fractured. Okay. We're going to check in and listen to some legal analysis actually from a reporter whose journalism I actually find credible. Hold on, let me pull this up and get this together. But hold on, as we're looking at that headline, as you guys have likely heard, this conviction already has cost Jonathan Majors in really untold opportunities, though I don't think permanently, but in the immediacy, yes, Marvel Studios immediately dropped Jonathan Majors following the guilty verdict of harassment and assault. That's right. The second thing he was convicted of was harassment, but I don't think it was a felony. Actually, I'm pretty positive that it was not. The harassment charge, I think, is being characterized as a violation, not even necessarily a misdemeanor. But there are some interesting aspects of this. But hold on. So there you see Jonathan Majors, 34 years old, star of some big movies as of late. He was in Creed 3. He was in some other shit. And I know for the people that follow such things, I should be more apprised of Jonathan Majors' um movie resume, and tragically I am not. So that's kind of why I feel as though I'm probably a good person to maybe offer some commentary on this, because I haven't followed his career. I haven't seen none of his fucking movies. Okay, I don't know if this motherfucker is a good actor, a bad actor. I don't know shit about him, except that he's 34 years old. And this altercation that he allegedly got into with his then girlfriend has cost him dearly. And so I want us to pick it up with an interview with a celebrity legal reporter. Her name is Megan Kuniff. Megan Kuniff did a really good job, in my opinion, of covering the assault trial of Tory Lanez after he shot rapper Megan Thee Stallion. And she does a good job of covering a lot of these, Manhattan to Los Angeles, higher profile celebrity things, but I think she does a good job. So I want us to pick up with the clip. And the clip is going to include not only some of her commentary, but we're going to see some of the evidence set forth by prosecutors in this, which includes a lot of street footage, closed circuit CCTV footage from the streets of Manhattan. And let me tell y'all, it was Minority Report scary shit. I'm like, God damn, every single corner of Manhattan is covered by cameras. Don't do shit in Manhattan, everybody, because that shit's gonna get on camera and they're gonna be able to track you down real easy. The madness. But anyway, that scary shit notwithstanding. What we're about to hear and see are surveillance footage that don't necessarily depict the incident in which Majors is convicted of. And Megan's going to do a good job of explaining this. To be clear, because some of you may have even seen some of this footage where Jonathan Majors appears to be trying to, with some force, put Grace Jabali back into the backseat of an Uber. That is not what he was convicted of. Everything he was convicted of involved when they got into it in the backseat. Okay. I'm trying to think, should I lead with what I'm coming back with? No, I want you guys to see it first. And if you haven't seen it already, y'all can form your own opinions, and then I'm gonna give you my more. Because again, I do have conflicting feelings about this conviction, about this entire incident. Uh, so anyway, we're going to pick up with Megan Cuniff being interviewed and pay attention to some of the closed circuit CCTV footage that is well documented that prosecutors had no trouble getting their hands on. And we'll come back and talk about it. Let's take a look.
But the verdict is a big loss for Jonathan Majors in that they did rule that he caused the finger injury that we've seen photos of, and that Grace Jabari has said that was caused when they were struggling over his phone. She'd seen a text message that he'd received from a woman. It was saved as Cleopatra in the phone, and it said something about, "I wish I was kissing you right now." And that happened in the back of an SUV that was being chauffeured by a driver that Majors was hired. And her testimony was that her finger was injured during the struggle over the phone, and that he also hit her in the head and caused her ear injuries. So he was found not guilty of an assault charge regarding intentionally assaulting her, causing intentional injury. But he was convicted of an assault charge regarding reckless injury, which is related to the finger injury. And then he was convicted of a harassment violation, which is less than a misdemeanor, for what happened in the SUV afterwards, which is going to be coming up here on the surveillance video. We're looking at surveillance video right now that prosecutors showed the jury during the trial. This is a collection of videos that marked Major's movements throughout the night. And we can see him actually after the incident. He goes to a hotel in Manhattan and stays there for several hours while Jabari went to a nightclub with some people that she'd met on the street just right after this had happened. And then she ended up going to the penthouse that she was sharing with Jonathan Majors and letting herself in. And then he returns a few hours later and discovers her. He's let in by a maintenance guy. And here we see her going back to the penthouse right now. So this is after the altercation that happened in the SUV. And this is when she has the finger injury that prosecutors had photos of, that she photographed herself. And she's coming back from a nightclub here. And we really see how extensive the surveillance video was of all this, just in that, I mean, practically all their movements throughout the night in Manhattan are traced. And we see some kind of record of what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question everyone is asking themselves, Megan, is Jonathan Majors going to serve time in jail because of this or not?
It's not.
Yes. No. The answer is no. I don't think he is going to serve any jail time. At least he shouldn't. But hold on, let me back up because I see the comments flying in the chat. So guys, here's the deal. This is how I read that situation. Okay. So as you heard, Jonathan Majors was riding in the back seat of an Uber with his then girlfriend Grace, and a text comes through on his phone from Cleopatra, alluding, "I wish I was kissing your lips, or no, sucking on your lips," or something suggestive. And that's the first flag on the play. The first flag on the play is this motherfucker is texting another broad while his girlfriend is literally riding right next to him. Okay. Now, Grace, I he seems to have an issue with how much Grace drank. So perhaps texting another woman while Grace, who maybe like to drink, maybe not a great idea, right? And I'm not saying this young woman is an alcoholic. I'm saying that apparently she does like to drink. And I'm not trying to cast any aspersions upon her as a victim at all. I'm just making an observation, okay? Sometimes alcoholics can get rowdy. I'll just say that, okay? So he obviously tries to hide this text from her. She is trying to grab his phone. And that in that melee, I can't even call it a melee, but in that interaction is how her finger got broken. Do I think that he grabbed her finger and broke that shit because she tried to reach his phone? No. And that's what a jury also agreed. What he was found guilty was third-degree assault causing reckless injury, reckless, not intentional injury. So while they were struggling, she is attempting to grab his property. He obviously doesn't want his current girlfriend see him texting his side girl. So he's trying to protect his phone. I'm not giving a justification. I'm just saying I can see how this could have went, right? And I don't know Jonathan Major's dimensions. He seems like a large fellow. All, muscles are Ripley and shit. Man strength. I think a man could have easily, without intentionally, broke a woman's finger. And if you guys are pawing at each other, what if he not throwing her a forearm, but trying to, no. Like I can just see how unintentionally that could happen, right? At the same time, it's a finger, okay? If I'm putting myself now here in Grace's shoes, if during the course of me instigating physically an altercation, which is what sounds like that happened. It sounds as though Grace was the instigator of the physical interaction between them, struggling over the phone. If I'm struggling with my man because I'm trying to grab his phone and my finger got broke, I'm gonna feel some kind of way. Okay, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm probably gonna be very mad. Am I going to go to the police and file anything? I'm not certain. And to be clear, that's not exactly what happened here either. So let's continue with the rest of the story. So during the course of that altercation, that is how Grace's finger became broken. And you see, and hold on, and that is kind of where some of my conflict comes in around this. Because again, I don't know Jonathan Majors. I'm not a fan. None of that shit. I don't give a fuck about this nigga at all. We gave me the buck. But what I saw on the video surveillance tape, I saw somebody seemingly try to de-escalate and get away, right? There was a number of times in which he departed the SUV, the Uber. He got away from her and walked away, a distance away, many blocks away. She was trying to pursue him, right? In some instances. And I'm not sure of the timeline in which that has been shown a lot, where he is physically trying to get her to get back into the Uber. To be clear, he was not convicted for that, okay? But I see him trying to separate himself, put space between he and she. And to me, that's not what an actual abuser does, right? Like if he was a serial abuser, if he had issues with domestic violence, issues with control, and I'm not even saying he doesn't have some issues with control, because we're going to hear some audio that his ex-girlfriend Grace recorded of a disagreement between them unbeknownst to him. So anyway, but my point is, I feel as though she initiated the physical contact based off him doing some goofy shit, texting another broad. Now, just because he was texting another broad, does that give her the right to initiate physical contact with him? Absolutely not. But that is what I think happened. And I think she became injured as a result of that. And I think he intentionally tried to get away from her. And that is kind of where I have empathy for him, because he started it emotionally, manipulatively, deceptively, with some betrayal, that she was, I think, justified to be angry and hurt about. But I think when it comes to the physical part of the altercation, she initiated that. And if I get hurt for some combative, physically confrontational shit that I started, I don't know. So I want us to play a clip that actually I think was presented in court, which is crazy that they played this shit in court, but they did. So what you're about to hear, this audio came from page 6. What you're about to hear is I don't even know if it's an argument. Let's call it a discussion. Maybe it is a fucking argument. I don't know how everybody argue different. Jonathan Majors is chastising Grace for having gone out and gotten drunk. And he didn't dig it. So I want us to play this clip, and you guys, again, be the judge. Again, I know emotional manipulation and control, it doesn't always come with someone screaming and yelling and throwing tantrums and making a physical case about it. I understand how domestic violence is not always physical violence, right? But again, I'm not certain that's what we have here. But anyway, let's listen to this audio and you guys tell me what y'all think. Let's check it out.
I would like to get to the point where your friends know what job I'm on and go, I think Grace is going to be out of commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't.
No, do you understand that? Because that team, that unit, right, Grace has to be in a certain mindset to support Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife.
I know, I'm not. I shouldn't have gone out. I'm
No,
sorry.
let me just lay it out for you, right? If I'm just gonna say this. My temper, my shit, my trauma, blah, all that said, right? And I'm not saying I'm a great man, I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. That's real. I'm not being a dick about it. I didn't ask for it. I've worked, and that's the situation. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. Last night, 2 nights ago, you did not do that. You did not do that.
I'm sorry.
Which took away from the plan. And the plan is everything. If it was just you in the house drunk, maybe I could have swallowed it. Or I would have felt bold enough like, oh, babe, let's just go to bed. Which I said to her, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm not hungry, blah, 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 blah. Because Grace isn't here. Why? She was drunk. Why else? She was clogged by whatever was going on. You know what I mean? Fine. I can take that. Fine.
Okay. I'm seeing a myriad of reactions in the chat. First of all, Afra has the correct reaction because when I heard him tell that white woman that she need to be more like Coretta Scott King, I said, this nigga done lost his fucking mind. What are you even saying? Becky, you need to be more like Michelle Obama. What the fuck are you saying out here in Jonathan Majors? Hey, man, you found your snow princess the way you found her. Don't be out here trying to hold her to some black woman standards. What are you talking about? Oh, my gosh. So when I first heard that clip, I was watching TMZ Live. And when I tell you the white men lost their fucking minds when they heard that shit. Oh my God, do you hear how he's berating her? Do you hear how he's putting her down? And all I kept thinking is, God damn, I have really been talked down to if that's the case, because I have been berated and actually put down, and it did not sound like that. It didn't sound like that. And that nigga sounded like he was giving like a halftime speech. You feel me? He was like, yo, we gotta stick to the plan, Grace. You can't be in here just getting drunk and shit, you know? And listen, but that's kind of my point, everybody. Like we're talking about this case because it's a widely known, widely covered case. This is not how typical DV cases go. Like I'm not convinced that if Jonathan Majors was a nobody and Shorty was also a nobody, that they would even be hemmed up for this. But maybe they would. But maybe they would, because on one hand, I can't ignore the role that race likely played in this in all kinds of ways, right? You have this big black man, you have this smaller white woman. She was injured, her finger was broke. There's no question about that. And again, I keep coming back to the jury's verdict, like not guilty for intentionally trying to hurt her. I don't think he intended to hurt her. Yes, she ended up hurt. I can't say whose fault that is though. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel as though she started it. And I don't think that it is correct for this young actor. I can't even say his career is going to be thrown away, because I feel as though there are a lot of people looking at this like, I don't know about this. I could see if he punched her in the face. I could see if he grabbed her and shook the shit out of her and threw her on the ground. Like I just feel as though if he were not him, I don't know where this would have went. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to play something real quick, and this is not a direct apples to apples correlation, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Well, if you could cue up that movie clip for me. When I heard and saw all the video surrounding this Jonathan Majors incident, and obviously New York as the backdrop played a part for jogging my particular memory in this direction. But hold on. Before I even go there, hold on. Let me back up for a couple more details. So again, would we be talking about this if this were not Jonathan Majors? Another aspect of this that I found kind of interesting is, would we be talking about this had Jonathan Majors not himself called the police to his house? So after all of their little fracas in the streets of Manhattan, she went out and kicked it with the people she literally just met on the street, which again, she is fine and entitled to do. People who experience trauma or had a bad fight with their boyfriend, them going out and partying, I don't look at that necessarily as abhorrent behavior, right? People respond to different stressful situations in a myriad of ways. A lot of people go to the bar after they get into a fight with their significant other, right? So I don't necessarily fault her for that. But apparently she went to the bar and got fucked up. And then she went back to the crib. And that's how Jonathan found her. He came back to their shared home, found her on the ground, unconscious for reasons. And I'm not certain if this came out in court. He thought that she had either overdosed or perhaps had made a suicide attempt. That's why he called police. He called the police, looking out for her well-being. When police arrived, Grace was out of it. Okay. It was reported that as part of the proceedings, that when police were talking to her, she was groggy. She was not 100% clear. She wasn't even clear that she had injuries. She didn't know how she had sustained a cut to the back of her ear and how her finger had been hurt. She didn't even know nor remember. And part of the prosecution's case that kind of sounded a little sketchy to me is that the police were assisting her with filling out her domestic violence report. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's not unusual, I suppose, but it looks a little sketchy to me. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know, just like you all know, that NYPD is no different than the rest of these racist ass police forces, and that, some cops feel a way about black men specifically fucking with white women. So leading me to this clip. This is where I was the frame of mind I got put in when all this shit finally came together this week surrounding Jonathan Majors. Let's go back in time, shall we? With a bit of a classic. Roll it, Will.
Now.
Oh,
Hey.
don't mess with me. I got two rough brothers.
Well, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, who do you think taught Mike Tyson, huh?
Gus D'Amato.
Gus D'Amato? Yeah, right. But when he died, I told him everything he knows.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh, that's right.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
right.
hit me with glasses, would you?
Yes, I would.
You would?
All those good Italian boxes there are. Graziano.
Nothing.
Yeah, Marziano.
Nothing.
Come on, Lamata.
Lamata?
Yeah.
Now, how's that? What about Muhammad Ali, huh?
Hate Ali. Ali was a Muslim and preached hate all the white people.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you. You ever talk about Muhammad Ali? You heretic. You're a witch. You're a witch. I'll never stand nobody to talk about the greatest Muhammad Ali. That's who what? Heretic. Witch. Okay, look. Game over. No. Game over. Give my glasses. Let me have my glasses.
Why don't you say please?
I'm not gonna say please. That's not gonna stop me from being angry.
Put him up, I said! Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Back away!
Get your hands up! Now!
Get back!
Move!
Please separate yourself.
To the wall! Against the wall, man! Against the wall!
Right? Let go of me. That's my boyfriend. That's my lover. What are you doing?
I'm not a boyfriend. We're just lovers.
Please.
I mean, no. We're just friends.
This
We're
must
just
be some
friends.
kind of
Look,
mistake.
Angela, just shut up. Just
Officer,
shut up, all right?
please.
Look, officer, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
He wasn't trying to rape you!
Assault. Oh,
Whoa.
you sure?
Yes,
I didn't do
I'm sure.
anything.
Take the fucking gun from his head.
Talk to me, man, what?
This is just a big misunderstanding. That's all it is.
Slow. Turn around. Slow.
I was just making sure she got home safe. That's all I was doing.
All right. Look, sorry about that. No harm, no foul. It's just that we got a call that a Afro-American male was attacking a Caucasian woman.
You all right, man? Just a little excitement. What? No problem. What?
Come on.
What?
Don't
Give me a
you
reason.
try.
Give me a reason,
Don't
man.
you dare try it.
Next time, man. Excuse the
What are you,
intrusion. Have a
crazy?
pleasant evening. Take it easy, all right?
I have your badge number. I will bring you up on charges.
Shut up.
You can be sure of the report,
Will you
sir.
shut up? What's the matter with you, huh? What are you doing telling them we're lovers? You're trying to get me killed?
It's none of their business what we do.
What a waste.
What the fuck am I doing here?
That's good. That's plenty, Will. Yeah. That's Wesley. Ooh, Wesley also on one with some DV accusations in his background. maybe Wesley's not the best example to use when discussing such a story. I saw a couple of y'all said that y'all knew it was going to be the Jungle Fever clip. Look, because it wasn't just me that thought that shit, right? It wasn't just me. Because that's probably how the shit would have went down if Jonathan Majors was not no major actor, right? I guess. I don't even fucking know, y'all. I don't know. And again, I don't have clear answers on this. I think I've been pretty consistent when how I feel about domestic violence, how I feel about people that have harmed multiple folks throughout the course of their lives for whatever reason, anger management, the hurt people. I don't know. So I don't want y'all to think I'm going soft or that I'm not sympathetic to what Grace experienced. I am. But when I'm trying to look at these situations, it's not to me both sides. No, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes and put myself in her shoes. And the precipitating act was him being a goofball, dirtbag ass motherfucker who thought that he was just going to sit here and send fucking kissy faces to his side bitch while his girlfriend's in the car right next to him. Like, nigga, that you fucked up. You fucked up. Ultimately, this whole situation devolved or even became a situation that the courts got involved in. Jesus, that the cops and the courts and all this shit and all the media paparazzi and now Disney and dropped your ass. All this because you wanted to be a dirtball, huh, nigga? all this because you wanted to be a dirtball. And listen, hey, be a dirtball. Y'all not married, but at least be better about it. Don't you use some discretion. Try to be slick. You know what I'm saying? Don't think got the white girl that she just going for it. No, these are different white girls in the 21st century. They're not going for that shit. These are not the white girls of 93. These are different white girls. They're not going for that shit. Kim Kardashian showed them they can have as many, they can have a line them up. So they're not going for that shit. So that's your fault, Jonathan Majors, you goofy ass. You started that shit at the end of the day. And secondly, Grace, I'm sorry your finger ended up broke, but you shouldn't have been trying to snatch the phone away from a nigga 6'4", 230, okay? And he did not intentionally put hands on you. He didn't mush you. He didn't punch, slap. He didn't throw you no bow. He tried to get you off of him. He tried to get away from you. I'm so sorry an injury occurred during that scuffle, but you were trying to take his property from him, and shame on you. So in my opinion, y'all, I mean, both parties are at fault here, but only one person is going to suffer the blame, and it's going to be Jonathan Majors, or suffer really the full consequence. While it is not likely that Jonathan Majors will get any jail time, to my knowledge, this is his only criminal offense. He's 34 years old. First offender, he should get probation. It is, in real life, most domestic abusers don't lose their jobs, right? In real life, even people convicted of domestic abuse don't lose their jobs because it's not necessarily a losable job kind of offense unless you have a very specific position, maybe engaging with the public or, in some sort of, front facing capacity. But the computer programmer who put hands on his wife or his girlfriend or his partner, and she called the police and he got arrested for domestic violence, this motherfucker definitely went to work on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like, and ain't nobody say shit to him about it. That is how it goes for an overwhelming majority of these cases. There usually aren't societal punishments. Jail and the like is minimal unless it's a serial offender, and even then, it's not necessarily a guarantee. It's a shame that Jonathan Majors is going to have to suffer tremendous professional consequence for basically what was a whole series of cascadingly stupid events on behalf of he and his girl. But I can only imagine that the ex-girlfriend, that is Grace, she is probably feeling a little smug, possibly a little vindicated. Obviously, he was trying to get out of a relationship with her. He's appeared to be publicly connected now to actress Megan Good, who I speculate actually was Cleopatra saved in his phone, because the face, a girl, Megan, woo, that's a face. Woo, that's a face. Yeah, I could see Megan Good being saved as Cleopatra in his phone. And so Grace is like, well, let's see if Megan Good still wants your ass now that you ain't got no motherfucking job. So yeah, Grace is probably feeling some way. Megan Good probably feeling some way. She probably believed him. But it was a gamble. That was a big gamble on Megan Good's part, to be honest. It wasn't no guarantee, obviously, that he was going to be acquitted of everything. She gambled on that and halfway lost. I think that Jonathan Majors will get picked up again. I think he will act again. I think he may not be the handpicked A-list action hero. He may not be on that same path. That part of his acting career might be gone from him, but I don't think his entire acting career is gone from him. He didn't strike me as 100% dirtball. And again, y'all, I say this like I've shared y'all. I'm a survivor of the physical, the emotional, the verbal. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking nice. I'm not gonna. I mean, not nice. He wasn't talking perfect. Let me be clear. But again, I've been yelled at, and again, that shit didn't sound like that. That shit sounded like yelled at. It didn't sound like, I need you not to be drunk in the house, please. You know what I'm saying? I got a plan. I need you to be Coretta, Becky. What a goofball. Like a goofy ass. Yes, sir. Sit in timeout for a little bit. Somebody gonna give you another role. It might be Spike Lee. It might be Michael B. Jordan. Someone's gonna give you a call here, sir. It may be all kinds of black directors. And trust me, and to be clear, there's way more dirtballs in Hollywood that have done far worse and have been given more opportunity to come back and redeem themselves, right? What happened with Jonathan Majors and his girl ain't nowhere close to what happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And while Johnny Depp has not been cast in any movies, I believe, since, potentially the door is not closed for Johnny Depp to resume his acting career in Hollywood. And that shit was fucked up, him and Amber Heard. You know what I'm saying? However, I don't know, we know that black folks don't always get the same redemptive opportunities that white folks get. So it may not go for him. So Jonathan Majors better hope he can get some of that Mike Tyson redemptive fairy dust sprinkled on his ass where you can get convicted of something so heinous and yet not only be given an opportunity to redeem yourself in your professional sphere, but hey, give him more opportunities to, to be cuddly and re-embraced by the mainstream again. Jonathan Majors can hope. Let me take a quick pause here for the calls. Thank you guys so much. Wonderful conversation transpiring in the chat. And again, if y'all are vehemently disagreeing with me in the chat, peace, Sith Lord Prince. I it's fine. I get it. I ain't got the answers, Sway. I ain't gonna lie. On this one, I ain't got the answers. I ain't got the answers. I ain't got the answers. Like I said, I was telling Will before we went on. I said, I can't explain why I'm feeling I'm feeling a little sorry for this dude in a way. I'm feeling some empathy. But on the other hand, I say that it wasn't my finger. You understand? And then I come back to that. I'm like, well, how would I feel if it was my finger that got broke? I'd be mad. I would be upset. I would not be okay with my finger being broke. I don't care how my finger got broken. You must break my finger. No, I get that. I get all of that. I get it all. So again, I ain't got the answers, Sway. I ain't got the answers on this one. Come on in here, guys. Give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate y'all rocking with your homie tonight. I missed the remix morning show this morning. I will not miss it again tomorrow. I did not get a chance to watch the morning show. What I did get a chance to watch on Black Power Media today was the unexpected going live of one Reverend Dr. Jared Ball. Why? Because yet another rapper. I'm sorry, maybe it's not funny. That's just hilarious to me. Yet another rapper has come for Dr. Ball. And at this point, I think Jared got to put pen to paper. It's time for some diss bars. But them bars got to be way better than them diss bars that him, Diakichi came up with some months ago. But my point is, hold on. Go watch. Go to BPM. Not now. Not right now. Go after I get finished. But go watch Jared's response to Ghetto Boys member Willie D, who had a very errant, misguided, ill-informed response to a clip of Jared talking about the myth of black buying power that has gone viral. And Willie D just showed himself to be a black capitalism goofy. Like, how come it's always some uppity, educated nigga always trying to tear us down? It's like, dog, can you hear? It's like, what's that listening comprehension like? Is it good? Don't sound very good, sir, because you got that all wrong. Jared said none of the things to which that was included in Willie D's response. So I encourage you, go over to BPM. Check out Jarod's latest go live in response to the diss from Willie D. But this makes how many rappers, y'all? Why is that so funny to me? I love the fact that JB out here 52 beefing with rappers. That's some young boy shit. I love it. I fucking love it. Beefing with rappers. That shit is so 95, gang. Y'all don't even get how classic that is. That shit is vintage. And that's the other thing. Jared ain't beefing, or others. I mean, not say Jared. Jared is not the instigator of the beef. He is on the receiving end of said beef. But I mean, these ain't nobodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of whatever you think about Killer Mike is a fucking somebody. He is a very, very well respected MC out here. I mean, the fuck his political opinions. The nigga rap his ass, all right. Killer Mike makes some good ass records. Willie D, one of the infamous ghetto boys. Come on. That shit is like no niggas is beefing with Jared. That shit is hilarious. It is hilarious. So Jared just gotta, oh, it just came to me. Maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow in the morning show. Somebody gotta ghostwrite Jared a verse. That's it. And we can own up to it as being ghostwritten. What y'all think? You know what I'm saying? It's got to be somebody crazy. Like, it's got to be like Rakim. Y'all think Rakim would ghostwrite a verse for Jared? I think it's possible. We're gonna work on that. We gotta put this shit on wax now, yo. These niggas is coming for us. Maybe we gotta do a posse cut. What y'all think? Y'all think is it funny? Am I the no? Okay, y'all see the humor. Okay, wonderful. Okay. I'm telling you, that's better than that. Rapper beefing with JB is way better than pundit beef. You feel me? Like like Killer Mike. I mean, the shits was with Killer Mike whack, Willie D whack. I mean, whack for this shit, not whack for their known professions. You understand? But whack for this shit. These dumbass attacks on Jared. They whack for that shit. But that shit is way more funny and more interesting than like pundit beef, than like RBN dissing us. You feel me? Like that shit. I'm snickling at this other shit. But anyway, y'all come on in here, give the video a like, a thumbs up. I appreciate it all. So sometimes you guys know I like to discuss things that are happening in the place in which I live. I live in the National Capital Region, which is a place laden with contradictions and conflicts and paradoxes and the like. And with DC being the seat of power, right? We can agree. I mean, New York is the center of the money. DC is the seat of the power, right? And we see choices and decisions being made every day on a federal level that directly impacts people's lives, not only just here in the US, but literally around the world, around the globe. And among those decisions include a recent one by the Biden administration in an effort to get around a congressional impasse surrounding some budget funding, some asked for funding to send to Ukraine, to send to Taiwan, and to send to Israel. They couldn't get that shit through. The Biden administration couldn't get it through Congress, couldn't get all the approvals. So unilaterally, the Biden administration made it through executive authority over $100 billion of military aid, primarily in the form of tens of thousands of tank munitions, basically to kill people, right? It's not, to be clear, military aid going to Israel from the US, not humanitarian aid. You know, there's $100 billion in military aid to Israel. The Biden administration used a oft or seldom used act, the hurry up and fuck niggas up without congressional authority or oversight act. I'm paraphrasing. They used that and got this money, right? But at the same time, in the same week in which the Biden administration usurped congressional review and congressional approval to send more munitions of death to Israel, who, by the way, is committing, check my notes, a genocide in Palestine, killing thousands of Palestinians, including thousands of Palestinian children, including 3 Israeli hostages who were killed by IDF forces in spite telling the IDF forces, hey, it's us. don't kill us. Y'all looking for us. And they said, up, stranger danger. Da-da-da-da-da. That's fucked up. And I'm not trying to make light of what happened to those poor people at all, but I'm trying to bring an illumination to the indiscriminate killing, obviously, by Israeli forces over there in Gaza. They don't even recognize their own people. They don't even recognize the motherfuckers they over there looking for, the hostages. In fact, anyway, I can't even talk about that right now. So anyway, so that same week, the same week in which all of this was approved by the Biden administration, this $100 billion in supplemental funding for the Israeli military, here we are in DC with our public transportation somewhat falling apart, but also in threat of being drastically downsized. And I want us to pick it up. If we could cue up that package for me, Will. I want you guys to listen to the ridiculousness that is about to potentially unfold for the public transport system here in the DC metro area. And I want to just remind you guys, for everybody watching at home, maybe some of y'all watching from outside the United States, DC is the nation's capital, okay? Like, this is it. This is, no. I mean, it's not the most important. This is the nation's capital, right? If the shit don't work no other place, it's supposed to work here. You go to Paris, that shit is frosty. You go to fucking Tokyo, that shit is frosty. You go to London, that shit is frosty. You come to DC, that shit is shaky. that shit is shaky at best. So let's listen to the budget woes facing Metro and how it's going to impact specifically the working people of this area, which, by the way, is a lot of black and brown folks in the DC metro area. Let's take a listen.
General Manager Randy Clark says that the transit agency must close the $750 million budget gap in the first half of 2024 or face some big changes. Some of those changes, all metro train stations would close at 10 p.m. Typically, they're open until midnight or later. 10 of Metro's 98 stations would shut down completely. On Metro Bus, 67 of the 135 lines would be eliminated, and thousands of Metro employees would lose their jobs.
Let's head over to News 4 transportation reporter Adam Tusk for the latest. Adam, this could be devastating if Metro doesn't come up with the money.
Absolutely, and we're starting to see, the trains get full here. So many federal workers are coming back to the system. You've got people who are just sick of the traffic that's going on around our region. They want to get back on trains and buses. And you have other people who just simply rely on Metro to get around. That's why all of this is so important. And Metro's general manager says he's doing everything he can to try to help close this budget gap.
The alarm bells about this huge Metro budget shortfall are growing louder. Low ridership, inflation, and pandemic-era funding drying up are all contributing to the issue. General Manager Randy Clark says his agency is looking everywhere for help to close the budget gap, and that includes potential layoffs and hiring freezes inside Metro.
Every million's going to count. So we are managing every day, every single dollar to protect service as much as possible.
Now, Clark maintains service cuts are a last resort that he hopes he doesn't have to make. The likely solution here is that local jurisdictions and states will be asked to contribute more to Metro. But some local leaders like Jeff McKay, head of the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, are cautioning the transit agency that Metro must show where and how the money will be spent.
But I can't emphasize enough the importance of putting together a package that says, if you want more money, tell everyone in this community what they are going to get for that in terms of guaranteeing that money is being well spent.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore's office sent us this statement saying finding a sustainable, dedicated funding source for Maryland's transportation modes is a top priority. Our administration is committed to working with WMATA in seeking solutions to these complex funding challenges. Riders, meantime, say they can't imagine service levels being cut or stations closed.
Let's get it together and let's get Metro working because we need Metro.
It means extremely a lot. So you have to do whatever it takes.
Metro's GM is also cautioning closing this gap for next year doesn't fix longer-term issues for Metro, That's why he's also calling for a dedicated and predictable funding stream to now be put in place for the transit agency.
Yeah, you know, we've said it so many times, guys. Metro is the only mass transit system in the United States that doesn't have a dedicated source of funding like a sales tax or a gas tax. That is something that we're going to start to hear an awful lot about, and all of us will pay for that to go toward Metro.
Some big questions here. Now, tell us, what from where you sit is where the next shoe to drop here, and when a rider's going to find out if the budget shortfall is actually resolved?
Yeah, so the alarm is being sounded now, and this is really because the general manager is trying to get all the local elected leaders on board with what they need to do. The full budget, it gets revised and then voted on in the spring so that it can then be put in place by July. But yeah, $750 million, and that only gets us to next year, guys. So a lot of big questions to tackle here. Back to you.
Right. We know you'll stay on top of this.
That clip there from NBC Washington. Gang, there's a lot there to unpack. I appreciate the righteous indignation and outrage that I'm seeing in the chat because, yeah, isn't that shit fucking crazy? $750 million budget gap, right? Now, to the extent that Metro as an entity is a good steward with their money, I don't know. I don't know if Metro's a good spending their money in the correct way or not. Here's what I do know. So the Metro transit system is in the process of a years-long upgrade. There have been a number of quite serious issues, especially affecting safety in the transit institution, but going back at least 10 years. There's been a handful of trail derailments. There have been a number of tunnel fires. Some people have actually, passengers, riders have died, right? You know, because of some shit with the trains. Currently, they have closed a handful of very critical red line stations in order to do some emergency work in terms of replacing some of the platforms that are crumbling, replacing some of the rails, doing some improvements, right? So Metro has got a lot of money invested in trying to improve the rail service. What pisses me off is that in the face of the United States federal government literally funding a genocide, right? Funding the bombs that have gone to kill thousands of Palestinians, thousands of Palestinian children. They got money for that, okay? Shit, you can't even count the money they got for that. $100 billion. And this is a one-shot funding deal. That does not account for the 3.5 billion that Israel was guaranteed for 10 years as part of a deal authored and approved by the Obama administration. Doesn't count for all the other billions, many, many billions of funding that the United States has poured into Israel. The nation's capital, the public transport system that serves the nation's capital might have to close at 10 o'clock at night for $750 million. All of this is why America deserves to fail. You deserve to fail. You don't want to shore up home. You don't want to save jobs in the nation's capital for the public transit workers. You don't want to ensure that public school children who rely on Metro to get to and from school, they catch the Metro buses, they catch the trains. What happens to school children if 10 Metro stations outright close? If 67 bus lines are eliminated? What does that do for the workforce? What does that even mean for the federal government workforce, right? Government workers use this transit, period, point blank. That's it. America doesn't run literally if people in the DC region cannot get to work, right? I mean, maybe that's hyperbole on something, but you understand what I'm saying, right? And more importantly, guys, I'm not even talking about the somewhat well-heeled bureaucrats. I'm talking about the Black folks in this area that need Metro to get to and from work. All of the security guards that work in these downtown offices, the people that work in the food service industry, the people who are the custodians and the janitors, the people who are the maintenance and the mechanics. Like, these are the people that really will be disproportionately displaced and really have their daily livelihoods impacted in a harmful way if this transit closes down. These are the people that can't work from home. These are the real essential workers, right? Like they can't phone it in like most government workers. They have to show up. So what does it say not only to the people of this region, but to the people of the country, but to the people of the world, to the people of the world? When the United States federal government doesn't even see fit to invest in something as critical as public transport in its own nation's capital. Y'all understand that in Beijing, right? Are we all somewhat familiar? I didn't pull a clip and I meant to. And my apologies for not having the visual to back up what I'm about to say here. But y'all, in Beijing, in China, in China, y'all know how that public transport looks in China? That shit look like Star Trek, all right? That shit look like China is in 2123, right? We back here. We stuck in 2023, nigga. And Beijing, they in 2123, okay? Light years ahead. They make the investments in infrastructure. They do what it needs to do to make sure that, hello, society actually progresses. But this is why America as an entity and as an empire is destined to fail, because it's so intent on shoring up its death mechanisms, making sure all of its death machinery and its death apparatus are available and running at top efficient speed in order to kill innocents or facilitate the killing of innocents even indirectly, right? But they don't want to take care of home. They don't want to shore up home. It's more important for America to be merchants of death than to be agents of progress in its homeland. And that is unsustainable. You can't keep propping up Israel's military $100 billion every quarter while Metro is $750 million. Ergo, therefore, less than one singular billion. Israel gets 100 billion. Metro needs less than 1 billion to remain open and providing the service that this region demands. And that's why, y'all, it doesn't matter who the fuck is president. It doesn't. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, right? I saw a clip on the news today talking about, Joe Biden is really suffering in the polls, even amongst Democrats, likely Democratic voters, because of the way that he's handling Israel, right? And the response from the Democrats, I can't remember who it was speaking specifically. They were like, "Well, if you don't like the way Biden's handling Israel, then wait and see what happens when the next guy gets elected," alluding to Trump. And it's like, well, if you missed it. Just like Biden has been up Netanyahu's ass, Trump was all up Netanyahu's ass. I don't see the difference. Trump probably would not have urged Israel to stop indiscriminately bombing Palestine. He probably would have encouraged it, and maybe that's all Netanyahu needed. He didn't, Netanyahu probably don't give too much of a fuck about the rest of the international pressure, so long as the country wielding the purse strings is still okay with the plan as is. And perhaps that is a big difference, but either way, I think we still would have had the same amount of Palestinians dead at the hands of Israeli bombs, even if Trump was president or were to become president again. I know there are differences, guys, on some key issues. Unfortunately, what's happening in Israel and what's happening in Gaza, I don't think is one of those issues that are so distinctive between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Same as the border. But what they will be consistent on is the neglect of the homeland, right? It doesn't matter that Americans don't have health care. It doesn't matter that these slow efforts in order to detoxify our environment are too slow and not really effective, right? I'm talking specifically about the Biden administration, I think recently passing, what was it, the EPA? Fuck, I gotta find this to make sure I'm saying it right. But to get rid of lead pipes, 2050, let me shut up because I don't know what I'm talking about here. Let me be quiet. But my point is, Joe Biden's not making this place cleaner, safer, more equitable at all. And maybe Trump would just be more glaring in that deliberation to not make things equitable. Joe Biden at least tries to, placate us somewhat like Democrats tend to do, but ultimately the outcomes and the results will be the same. So, good luck, Metro. DC region, good luck getting to work in the coming months. If this budget shortfall does not get closed per the report in the first 6 months of 2024, 2,200 jobs at Metro could be lost, 10 metro stations could be closed, 67 bus routes could be eliminated, and service would end nightly at 10 p.m. Does that sound like the public transportation system of a world-class city, of an internationally class city? Absolutely not. It sounds like a shithole city. And maybe it would be a perfect opportunity for Trump to return back to this shithole city, considering how the politicians are handling things, both locally and at the federal level. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night because I hear Bagheera out there complaining. Just complaining. By the way, Bagheera is doing very well. Thank you all for your well wishes for Bagheera. Thank you so much, Friday Francais, for always asking about bags. She is complaining that the service here absolutely sucks. There's no meals served here on time. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like that, she can't be unsupervised in the front yard. How else is she supposed to leave the yard? If someone's always watching her and she can't be out there unsupervised. So she has a lot of complaints about her treatment, but otherwise she seems to be feeling okay. She's getting a much bigger dose of CBD, which I think is helping to keep her pretty comfortable. But Bagheera is already counting down to the next birthday, I suppose. We're already at 15 years and 1 month and a few days. And she seems to be doing all right. So we're going to rock with Bags as long as Bags is rocking with us. Isn't that right, Lady Alex? Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much for coming through. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, Big Tail. Thank you so much for being in here, baby. What's up, Project Dystopia? Let's just let this bitch fall down. I can't. I'm so just tired of America. That's what I'm realizing, gang. You know how, especially Black women, we always complain that we tired. I'm just tired. I'm tired. Maybe we are not. Maybe we are just tired. We're tired of the U.S. Maybe we're not tired of ourselves. What's up, Vesper X? Thank you so much for coming through. Easy D, thank you so much for coming through. Black Magic, thank you, baby, for coming through. You know I love to say it. There go my son, Tyler. What's up, Tyler? Hope you're doing good out here, baby. What we're going to talk about tomorrow on the Black Power Media Remix Morning Show? Well, like I said, we're hopefully going to get into all this rapper beef that Dr. Ball keeps finding himself in. It just sounds so funny. It just sounds so ridiculous. And it's like, dog, if I wasn't actually witnessing this happen, you would not have been able to told me 2 years ago that what you mean Killer Mike and Willie D be beefing with Jared? Why? So yeah, okay. So we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about Trump being disqualified from Colorado from the presidential ballot. That's an interesting move there. So anyway, lots of shenanigans to get into tomorrow morning on the Remix Morning Show. Please join us 8 a.m. Eastern. Please and thank you. All right, gang. I will holler at y'all tomorrow on the morning show, and we'll see y'all back here Friday for the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Thanks always to Will and Molly for all that they do. And y'all, we'll see y'all back here. See y'all later. Bye-bye.